Alright y'all, welcome back to another episode of Retro ReWire. My name is JJ, and in today's episode we're going to continue the arcade highlight series, which pretty much means that I'm going to arcades here in Japan and showing you the games and other forms of entertainment that they have to offer. And I actually don't have an official name for this series yet, so if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment down below and I'll consider your suggestion. In the first episode of this series, I visited Capcom's Plaza and I had tons of fun there. You know, they had quite a few capsule toys, UFO catchers with interesting prizes, as well as arcade games, of course. And I gotta say, House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn was definitely the game of that particular arcade. And it's a game that I highly recommend, and I hope that it finds its way to consoles so as many people can enjoy the game as possible. But for today's episode, we're gonna go down to Akihabara in Tokyo and we're gonna go to Super Potato. Now this is a pretty famous, pretty legendary retro game shop, and that also happens to have an arcade on the 5th floor. And I had quite a bit of fun while I was there, so I'm looking forward to sharing the footage with all of you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and cut to the footage. So sit back, relax, and let's enjoy Super Potato's arcade. And here we are outside of Super Potato, and the 5th floor is our destination today. And as you can see, the legendary Super Potato itself. Let's go ahead and go in. And before we go into the arcade, I just want to show you a little bit of the decor, like this awesome Rastan decal on the staircase that leads up to the arcade. And the whole walls are just littered with a bunch of cool looking posters, and I definitely want to highlight a few of them. I mean, I think a lot of these posters would make for awesome room decor. Granted, I probably wouldn't want to deck out my room as heavily as they are here, but here it definitely makes sense. And I think the one poster that really stands out is this Ninja Emaki, which I haven't heard of this game before, but it's kind of like a Kiki Kai Kai, like a run and gun over the top shooter. It looks actually pretty good. I'm definitely gonna look more into it. But yeah, definitely like the artwork on the poster. But yeah, a lot of cool looking stuff here. It's just oozing with retro. It's kind of like a trip back in time for sure. And look at Rockman or Mega Man's face. He looks kind of like a little bit senile there. It's kind of funny. And then Rival Schools. Oh, Rival Schools. But definitely love the Final Fight poster, and especially this Sunset Riders poster. It looks great. But as you walk in, they have hand sanitizer, and they also leave the window open, and they're regularly cleaning the arcade machines, and that's how they combat COVID. But as you can see here, you can get your change. You bring some bills, you get your change and your snacks. They have everything from like noodles, pop or soda, and all sorts of little snacks. And they even have benches where you could munch on them. And then we have good old Naked Snake here. Now, a couple years ago, they actually had a throne made out of Nintendo cartridges, and they kind of replaced it with Naked Snake here. And as you can see, a little bit of damage, but still kind of a cool little life-size figure of Snake. And this is the other end, a couple vending machines and benches. And the only thing they don't really have here are bathrooms, but everything else they got you covered. And all the arcade cabinets are based off of the Sega Astro City variant, which the Mini is coming out soon. But look at all these Sanwa sticks and buttons, very precise. And these chairs that have been seating champions for decades, I bet. They're actually quite comfy too. And the coolest thing about these, about going to the arcade, is the glorious CRT monitors. I mean, look at these scan lines and the color. Now, granted, video is always going to be a poor excuse, but I hope you get an idea of how clear it's looking. And then like the little wavy lines, I wasn't actually seeing that while I was there. It's just that the lights operate at 50 hertz, but the machines operate at 60, and I kind of had to pick and choose there. But definitely awesome stuff. Just like this Pong machine. Never actually seen this. before, but definitely cool with its LED lights, and like these little machines too, that you play them and you kind of tap and you kind of have to stop the light on the right spot, and it'll give you a prize, which I wonder what kind of prizes they have. I should have paid closer attention to that. Might be some good stuff. And then this is one side of the arcade as you enter, and then this is the other side. But yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. All games are 100 yen, and then I guess let's just start identifying these games. We have versus Super Mario Bros. And versus Tetris, based off of that old NES arcade hardware. Then we have Splatterhouse, which is a gem, but unfortunately it was out of commission, which major bummer. And then I guess we'll go over these in more detail. I'll kind of show you the decals, but a lot of the games are, you know, relatively well known. Like this game here, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which this game, you know, I've always loved the attract screen, and I'm sure I'm not alone. It's definitely very iconic. But look at this, just to animate all that. The idea behind it, it's genius. Then we got some snacks there on the side, right by these games are all essentially beat 'em up aisle. And if you take a look at the Final Fight arcade monitor up at the top, it's definitely in need of a bit of maintenance, but it still looks freaking awesome. And then some Dynamite Deca. But anyhow, let's take a closer look at these machines. Now, the first one here, Blazing Star. Freaking awesome game. Originally on the Neo Geo, still on the Neo Geo. Then we have Dodonpachi. Freaking awesome game as well. And then we have Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is definitely iconic. Bomberman World, which I wasn't expecting, honestly. And next to that, as you saw earlier, Metal Slug X. Freaking awesome game. And then next to that, of course, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, with its awesome pink and lime green buttons. And then another one I didn't expect, Monster Boy and or Wonder Boy in Monsterland. And then we have Ninja Baseball Batman, which is a pretty cool beat 'em up, I believe by IREM. And then next to that, we have a Sega Mark III sitting on top of Altered Beast, which Altered Beast, I definitely prefer playing this game in the arcade, although the Wii Virtual Console version is a very, very good conversion of this particular game. And this one's operating on the Blast City, and I wonder what came first, Astro or Blast City arcade cabinets. Maybe Blast City is the newer one. And of course, Final Fight, giving away all its 19 techniques, and Dynamite Deca or Die Hard Arcade, running on the STV hardware. But here's me playing. I got down on some Metal Slug X. I always, when I come to this arcade, I definitely like to start with this game. This game is kind of like a primer for me, but I never do so hot. When I play it at home, I kick butt, but in the arcade, I make it to like level 3 and I'm done. Yeah. And I actually had pretty good success playing Blazing Star here. I think I made it to like level 4 or something. Wasn't expecting it too, because I've only played it on the Mini. And speaking of Mini, the Astro City Mini will be launching in less than a week, and keep a lookout for that video. Definitely gonna cover that. Definitely got down on Altered Beast. Freaking awesome game. And I regret not playing Final Fight. I should have played it. I mean, look at that. Looks freaking awesome in the arcade. That aspect ratio is something. And then here's my buddy playing Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It's a small arcade, but definitely very cozy. And They sometimes switch out the games, but I definitely recommend that you all stop by. It's on the 5th floor. All games are 100 yen. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and cut back to the studio and we'll wrap things up. All right, y'all, so we're pretty much at the end of the episode, and I gotta say, Super Potatoes Arcade is pretty cool. I definitely liked all the games that they had on hand. Unfortunately, Splatterhouse was out of commission, and that was the game that I was most looking forward to playing because I haven't actually played legit arcade hardware, but hopefully next time I visit them, it'll be back up and running. But anyhow, this is an arcade that I definitely recommend, especially if you're visiting Japan and you're planning to spend the day in Akihabara, you know, doing the game hunting thing, because you can take a break there, you could eat some snacks, you can play some games as you contemplate over what purchases that you want to make. But definitely check them out. And I think for the next episode in this series, I want to take a look at some of the arcades in Shinjuku. They have a few hidden gems there that are worth highlighting and sharing with all of you, so keep a lookout for that. And anyhow, thank you for checking out Retro ReWire. My name is JJ. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Ciao. Light gun games, and I think yeah. Anyhow, super cool arcade, and yeah, don't know what to say. Visit them, they'll have another cool arcade game. But anyhow, I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say here. Welcome back to Retro ReWire. My name is